character recognition. And it's just a scorecard. Yeah, it's skin. Oh, no, yeah, that's one way. Yeah, we're Thursday on hold. To just come live early and stay on the line.
Tuesday night, European North Basketball League final, number 2. And one shot advantage of our winners this evening, the Bakken Bears from Denmark. So let's give them a warm welcome as they come out and call your visitors, the Bakken Bears. Wearing number 4, EJ Danville. At 5, Kevin Hernandez. At 6, Tyson Tucker. At 7, Simon Schwartz. At 8, Darko Yuki. At 12, Skyler Morland. At 13, Sylvester Berg. At 20, Euron King. 22, Kevin Roll Jr. And the head coach, Mr. Anders Summer. They are the visitors from Denmark, the Bakken Bears. But now let's get ready to welcome your team, the Newcastle Eagles! It's time to welcome your team, the Newcastle Eagles. As always, when our guys swoop the Eagles and walk flag. Next loud and proud and welcome your Eagles, wearing 0, Christian Gay.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Virtue Motors Arena for tonight's second leg of the European North Basketball League quarter-final between the visitors, the Bakken Bears, and the hometown Newcastle Eagles. A 3-point deficit for the Eagles to pull back after the first leg. And obviously this is a rematch of last year's quarter-final when the Bakken Bears actually won here in Newcastle by 5 points. The Eagles won by 5 points in Denmark. It went to overtime and the Bakken Bears prevailed in overtime and went on to win the competition on their own court in the Final Four. We obviously are defending that tonight, with the Eagles looking to get to the Final Four for the first time. And I'm delighted to say alongside me, as ever, is my co-commentator Dave Elderkin, who is fresh out of hospital with a brand new hip, Dave.
That's right, yes, got a new part with me. You mentioned last year and vivid memories of that game, and we were very, very impressed with the teamwork of the Bakken Bears. And obviously, with the Eagles not having won a game since back in the month of February, it's going to be difficult to assess just how sure we are that they can overturn this deficit over 2 legs. We know there's been a boost, huge boost, with Micah Cora coming back, and probably that by itself would have been sufficient, but for Denmark to be without the guy who caused Eagles a lot of problem is a tough shout for them.
Yeah, I was just talking about that before the game. Micah Cora back for Eagles, Jacob Polakovic out for Bakken. It's kind of like seems to have swung round. Of course, that doesn't guarantee anything. We've still got to play 40 minutes of basketball, but it is huge because we weren't sure whether Okoro was going to be fit. He is, and Polakovic actually broke his hand at the weekend, and he's not here, and that's going to be a big miss. We've got the starting fives. I can give you the starting fives. The starting five for the Bakken Bears, Aarhus, is number 8, Darko Jukic. Number 12, Skylar Boland, the captain. Number 13, Sylvester Berg. Number 20, Ural King. And number 22, Terence Hargrave Jr. They have E.J. Dambreville on the bench, along with 3 youngsters. That's Philippe Artez, Simon Schwartz, and Tyson Tucker. For the Eagles, their starting 5 is number 2, Josh Ward-Hibbert. Number 3, Michael Cora, who not only is he fit, he's fit enough to start. Number 7, Seneca Knight. Number 13 and captain, Darius Defoe. And number 25, Deshaun Allen Akins. And I guess, Dave, that's the big news, isn't it, really? The two guys who are missing, well, one back and one who's missing.
It is, and let's look back just 1 week to the game in Denmark, and the Eagles actually made a great start, and I thought had a very, very strong first quarter. So what we need is that start tonight, but then they've got to be consistent and maintain that, because we can't afford anything like the lapse that we had in the third quarter last week.
And Polakovic is, to be fair, Polakovic last week was a big game for him. He hasn't been averaging anything like 27 points and 11 rebounds. When you look at his stats, he was averaging 12.7 rebounds, just over 7, nearly 7.5 rebounds. But he wasn't like, with Eagles not having Martin Delpesh in the middle, and Darius Defoe did his best, but Polakovic really dominated, particularly in that second half. So he should be a big miss. Be interesting to see how the Eagles deal with that. It'll be interesting to see how Bakken actually play. I mean, obviously they've got Skylar Boland, the captain, who's been here before, not just with Bakken Bears, but he was here with Södertälje of Sweden about 10 years ago in a pre-season tournament. Very, very good, smart point guard. But the guy who I'm looking forward to seeing is the brother of Darko Jukic.
To me, this is quite a simple game, actually. You know, there's all sorts of things we can factor in and factor out, but the one thing has got to be how important to the Eagles players is this occasion. You're on the verge of doing what you didn't do last year, which is going through to the Final Four in a European competition. And I think they've got the talent and the mentality to do that and respond to it.
And it was Hargrove Jr. who won the tip-off. Just having a few problems with the sound. Is that okay? So our match night commentator seems to want to call them Bracken Bears, not Bakken Bears. Skylar Bullen on the free throw line makes the aggregate 4. He's a pretty good free throw shooter, Skylar Bullen. Doesn't usually miss much. 35-year-old now. Told me last year that this is going to be his last season. Be interesting to see where that happens. Yeah. But they're on the board first.
That early foul is one way for Micah Corus to make his return, but I must say that he looks very, very mobile, which is a great sign at the moment, and both teams looking to be pressing each other to try and get an early advantage.
Corus assisted Darius Defoe. Darius Defoe, 12-footer was good. Defoe almost steals it off King. Here's Jukic going to the basket, kicks it out to Hargrove. Bolin fakes it, then gives it back to Hargrove. He misses the 3.
Well, early thing we said last year, we emphasised the strength of their teamwork, and there's early signs of it. Really, really good ball movement in that last offence.
They are a different team, obviously, this year. Jukic didn't play against the Eagles last year. Berg and Bolin, who are in the starting 5, both did. There's a Cora for 3, is off. Can afford him. Probably get a bit ring rusty early on.
We'll give him a little while to get the rust out the system.
Hargrove Jr. back to Jukic, as I say. Darko Jukic's brother Zarko actually played for Newcastle for a season. There's King inside. He's a good athlete, this Ural King.
I thought he did bits for them last week, but I don't think he showed us his true commitment to the whole game. It looks as though he's ready for that tonight.
Yeah, 17 points a game and 9.2 rebounds in this competition. Alan Aikens for 3 again, so too long.
Well, I think the Eagles obviously have tried opening up from the perimeter to start. That looked like a massive travel.
Yeah, and it was cold as well. Bolin giving the ball up early, as he usually does.
Yeah, very distinctive style here. They come and they want to get into their passing game straight away, and the Eagles want to take time and very clinical on the ball, looking for the best possible entry. That was a much quicker entry and put pressure on their defense quicker, which is good.
Defoe backing down King, nice turn, nice spin move. Darius Defoe for 2 more.
Well, he may be a veteran, but he had every move in the book there that he's rehearsed over the years, and it paid off for him. Backing him down, using his footwork. Great move from Darius.
All 4 points for the Eagles so far. Berg turns down the 3, goes inside, gets it. Oh, and that could be a second foul on Michael Coro. Ural King getting the ball off Berg inside.
Well, he's signalling to the bench that he's okay about it, but I don't think that's going to have any sway with Coach Stuttle.
Well, it was interesting that he come after 5 matches out, he came straight into the starting 5, and Trey Pulliam, who's probably been playing some of the best basketball for the Eagles in this run, was actually on the bench, but Pulliam's now on to replace Mike.
You know what, Jeff? Over the years, coaches have agonised about that decision, and usually they bring them straight back.
King misses a free throw, but Berg gets the rebound, but he then throws the ball away.
I like the way they're switching sides quickly with the skip pass, but that was quite misdirected.
Sylvester
Coach
Berg,
not impressed at all.
He's quite interesting character, Sylvester Berg. Denmark international. He does spend a lot of time contesting referees' decisions. I have noticed this about him. Yeah, anyway, here's Pulliam. Berg gets his hand in on that. Just deflects it out.
Yeah, well, any thoughts that Denmark, Bracken Bears might be overawed by this occasion? No sign of it at all. They're up for this game. They're getting out in the passing lanes. They're all taking their assignments well. They've made a very good start, and they've got a lot of confidence in the way they move the ball. But at the moment, this is still early time for the Eagles. They'll be a little bit more settled now that these 5 have played together quite a bit in the last month.
Pulliam into Defoe. Defoe having a start. What a start. What a start from Darius Defoe. Great pass from Pulliam.
Yeah, as good as the entry pass that the Eagles created there, they're equally a bad defence from Bracken Bears.
And Bakken Bears return it with Jukic finding Berg under the basket. His reverse layup is good, so we go to an 8-4, 8-6 it is now. Pulliam shakes, bakes, and drops it in for two. He's come off the bench to good effect, Dave.
The Bears have done the homework and scouting. When Pulliam goes into that back down mode, he usually ends up with a shot. And that was far too easy for him to get it off.
Berg goes round. So that's 3 times now.
You would expect more there from Alan Aikins on the weak side defence. He just didn't watch the guy go. Didn't help out at all from the weak side.
Ward Hibbert tries to find Darius DeVore.
The Eagles have got good off-ball movement. Just need to couple it with the way the execution of moving the ball.
Deflected out of bounds. Pulliam will inbound it. Knight and Ward Hibbert switch. Knight gets free, but Pulliam ignores him at first, but he gets it to him now. Seneca Knight. Nice pass into Alan Aikins, but good defense by Hargrove. But the three-point shot is good by Ward Hibbert.
Very, very, very smart slip pass there from Alan Aikins. Deserves fully that assist and great execution on the three-point shot.
Jukic found King, but King couldn't find anybody, and Ward Hibbert goes coast to coast for two. And the Eagles now are level on aggregate.
That took less than 25 seconds for the Eagles to go from being 2 behind to 4 to 3 in front.
Ball in to Berg. Hargrove Jr. attacks the basket. Back out to Ballin. Ballin for 3 is short. Alan Aikins gets a touch. Ward Hibbert cleans up. Darius DeVore is almost there, but Seneca Knight for 3 is no good. Hargrove Jr. takes a good rebound. Comes away with the ball. He's going to attack the basket. Tries to find Jukic in the corner. I think we're going to see E.J. Dambreville. So Alan Aikins and Knight out. James and Cole Long in. Berg out for the visitors and Dambreville in for the Bears.
Yeah, early signs here from that Coach Stuttle wants to get into his bench. Just mix things up a little bit.
Jukic looking for King inside. King couldn't get away from Long. Back to Jukic. Long 3 is no good. I think there's been a foul call on Ward Hibbert here.
But this is one area where the Eagles don't want to win. We played just over half the quarter. Eagles winning the count, foul count 3-0.
I think it was a foul was actually called on Cole Long, not Josh Ward Hibbert. My apologies. Both of them went for the rebound. Referee felt that Long's contact was illegal. Foul called. Ballin trying to set something up. Hargrove Jr. that's short. Ward Hibbert takes the rebound and off to the races again. Good defense by Dambreville. He comes up with the ball. It's at the Ballin. Ballin's going to try to tap the basket.
Well, we've talked about player improvements over the year, and there's one area where Ward Hibbert has clearly improved his game, and that's his ability to take defensive rebounds and turn them into instant offense.
Yeah, part of the Eagles game, transition offense. Jukic to King. Dambreville. Hargrave Jr. sets the screen. Dambreville for 3 is long again. 3-point shooting from both sides right on. What a pass that was. What a pass that was. Josh Ward Hibbert breaking out in transition. And that's an early timeout for the Bakken Bears as they go down by 5.
Well, we can certainly add running the floor to one of Josh Ward Hibbert's but that came from a terrific box out from Darius DeVore.
I think the thing was on Friday night against Bristol, Josh Ward Hibbert was very, very disappointed in his own personal performance. And he certainly made up for it early doors here tonight. What a pass, what a easy finish.
Good early atmosphere. Crowd's not the biggest we've seen, but certainly very, very vocal, very passionate in the support of the Eagles. And the Eagles have turned what looked like a potential 4-point deficit into a 7-point swing. Very, very, very encouraging sign at this early stage of the game.
4 minutes left in the first quarter, 15-10 for the Eagles. Where do you stand, Dave, on this? A lot of people have said this is the biggest game in the Eagles' history. I'm not sure you can really say that when you consider how many cup finals, trophy finals and playoff finals they've won. But obviously, to get to the Final Four of a European competition is a big, big achievement.
Yeah, and I think, you know, you've got to factor in when you're judging this occasion. It was always a goal of the Eagles, but it took them a long, long time to actually make that step. And then they've taken it now, 2 years in a row. They've done it. They've got to this stage. So that, you know, put that down as a big, big plus in the development of this franchise.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. Don't get me wrong. There's no doubt at all. It is a massive, massive game. I mean, but when you come through the group 7-1 as well, you've got a bit of a target on your back as well, haven't you? You know. So the Bakken Bears just qualified really from their group. They were the same record as the Bristol Flyers with 4-4, but they had the head over Bristol, and that's what got them through in the end. So it's a 4 seed against a 1 seed. Ural King shots off, but Berg got a rebound, and then he's tried to get turned round, and this time it's a foul underneath. Foul is on Christian James. That will be 2 shots for Sylvester Berg.
Well, the Bears have certainly come here with the intent of their offense, testing the Eagles by stretching them out and spacing them out, but also getting the ball inside, but also being a real threat on second attempts as they go for offensive rebounds.
Berg misses the first. 4 points personal already and 3 rebounds, 2 of them offensive. And he misses a pair though there, so they're now shooting 2 from 5. In a tight competition, free throws can be always crucial. He has Pulliam, Long setting the screen, nowhere to go for Pulliam. He go back to Long. Long thought about the 3, decides to drive inside instead, misses the layup. King takes the rebound and Boland brings the ball up. Nice pass to Berg. Berg goes for the finish. Well, the Eagles fans are not happy with this. The referee, I'm not sure which referee it is. I know it's obviously Mr. Schumann or Mr. Hansen. I'm not sure which one.
We're in a position to do something that the fans can't. We're in a position to judge.
Look like a foul in there.
Let's make some noise.
No, we're not going to see it. Just going to get the replay, the free throw.
Berg makes the first.
Well, they needed that because they'd had a little bit of a drought.
Make some noise.
This is the second though.
Again, Ward Hibbert strong on the board. What I really liked was how quick he was to react and initiate the primary break following his rebound.
Alan Akins almost has it stolen by Berg, hands it off to Pulliam, gets it back into the paint, looking to shake, turn and spin, and that's Alan Akins at his best. Fadeaway is good for 2.
What do you say about that, apart from a 9 out of 10?
Boland gets it into King, who can't control the ball. Long steals it on the floor. Pulliam brings it away.
No,
the Eagles have made a good start.
They're getting into the paint, and the Eagles are getting hands all over them if they try to put the ball down.
Probably the only thing going wrong at the moment for the Eagles is that 3-point shooting. Only 1 of 5. And there's an interesting character as Tyson Tucker. He only played 1 game in the regular season, and he had 12.6 rebounds and 6 assists in that 1 game he played. But he's only a junior, and he didn't play last week at all, but he's in now. Skylar Boland takes a seat, and Hargrove Jr. has come back in for Danville. Actually, it was for you. It's my fault. So, Hargrove Jr. gives it to Tucker. D'Amberville for 3 is off. Easy rebound for Christian James. Snaffles it up and away he goes. Alan Aikens, lots of space. Looking for a screen. Pullian gives him one. Steps back for 3. And it's good for 3. Alan Aikens thanks Pullian for the screen as he goes past. The Eagles up by 9 already. Offensive foul on Tucker.
Yeah, that's what made Alan Aikens so difficult to guard, because he starts bouncing the ball on the spot and you think he's looking for one of his amazing wiggly-diggly moves to the basket, but also if you step back from him to counter that, he'll put the 3 on you.
Wiggly-diggly, Dave, I like that one. Wiggly-diggly. So, offensive foul call on Sander Berg. I think that was the first foul on the Bakken Bears. Aggressive move by Christian James. Turns and spins. Gets fouled.
Yeah.
Fouls on 4. D'Amberville.
The one thing you can be sure about Christian James is when he decides to make that move to the basket, he employs maximum power.
And he's got a lot of it as well. He's 6'4", but he tends to play a bit bigger than that.
Because you often think of him as a small forward rather than a big guard.
I would agree. Makes the first. Like his boots, Dave. I wonder if he's got another pair the same.
What, are you thinking he might leave you a pair at the end of the season?
No, I'm just...
Oh, I see you mean.
He's got an orange left one and a green right one in the house. Very unusual.
Maybe he switches them round for an away game.
Exactly. But he makes them both, and that gives the Eagles an 11-point lead and an 8-point lead on aggregate. Bakken Bears already facing a big deficit, but they were in the first leg as well, remember. D'Amberville to King, into Berg. Going against Pullian. Skyhook is good for 2. Berg up to 7 personal. James into Alan Aikens, back to James. Once again, he's going to go hard, kicks it out into the corner. Alan Aikens for 3 is no good. Bounces over the backboard. Dead ball.
Yeah, you could have good decision making there to the things we're saying about Christian James, because he knew straight away that the defense was collapsing around him there, and therefore, although he had a difficult finish, he did spot that the player on the perimeter had a much easier offer to execute.
Tucker brings it forward, it goes for the shot, makes it 2.
Oh, that was a tough move. I'm not sure you'd call that a runner, a floater, or what, but brilliantly executed.
It was a running floater.
Yeah.
Pulling at the other end.
And they're not the easiest of shots to control either, but his release was so under control.
Seneca Knight drives the baseline, turning, spins, and makes the 2.
Well, forget how lucky he was with the friendly bounce. This guy never ceases to amaze you with the number of twists and turns he has to get a defensive player out of the way so he's got a clear space to execute his shot.
So the basket was given good, and the foul was called after the shot was released. So it's not an and 1, it is a 2-point shot instead, but it will be the Eagles' ball at the end line when we come back, because Mark Stuttle has taken a timeout. Slightly surprised he's taken a timeout, but he obviously wants to call something up with 7.2 left to go.
Well, it obviously has to be something important, because you wouldn't necessarily want a waste of time out with only 7.2 seconds on the clock. But obviously he already knows that they've taken control of this game. They've covered the 3-point deficit, and they're 11 up, so overall they're 8 points to the good.
Actually 9.6, 24-15. It's difficult to see where the Bears are going to come back here because I'm sure they've got a run in them. All basketball games have that, but it is a little bit difficult because obviously they haven't got that inside presence at all at the moment.
Yeah, well, let's think about what you just said. It's still early in the game. The Eagles made a good start there, and the difficulty of last week, they didn't maintain it, and particularly they completely went off the plan in that third quarter. Too early to be thinking about the third quarter right now. They want to consolidate this effort and keep pushing to get this league and take this game completely away from the Bakken Bears.
Pulling it into James. James misses it, but another foul. Good work by the Eagles. Nice set play. James got to the basket, but he missed the shot. And I think that it's a foul.
Yeah. If we watch this, if we get the replay here, no, we're not. Really good crisscrossing of the Eagles' players to open up that straight line cut for Christian James.
Christian James on the line for two. Pulliam comes out. Waterhibbert comes in. I think that's for defense as much as anything. Plus, Bears have put Jukic in. James on the line for two. Rattlers in and out. Obviously, the Eagles were perfect from the line until that moment, but they only took two, both by Christian James. 3 for 4 for Christian James, 75%. Didn't get the shot away in time, missed anyway. And that's the end of the first quarter. The Eagles have won by 10, so they lead by 7 on aggregate. And I think they're going to be well pleased with the way they played there, Dave.
Oh, they've definitely got to be the happier of the two benches. I thought that they made the better start for the first few minutes. Good ball movements, a lot of crisscrossing, swinging the ball side to side. Thought they were very effective in the way they do that. But gradually, as this has gone on, it's not just about scoring ability. The Eagles have established a pretty strong defensive wall there to keep the Bears from any easy looks.
When you consider that it was 10-8 to Bakken, and they've only scored 5 points since the 6.5-minute mark, and whereas the Eagles have scored 17, so it's been a 17-5 run.
Yeah, I would hardly call that a quarter of two halves, but certainly from mid-quarter, the Eagles have looked like the team that's in the strongest form. And by that, using that word strong, but everything they're doing is all about dynamics and power.
Eagles have played 8 so far, and as we suspected, the Bears so far have only played 7. And one of those was Tucker, who, as I said, didn't even play in the first game. Tyson Tucker. I must admit, I was quite surprised when I was doing my research on Bakken Bears, and I had a guy called Tyson Tucker, and I thought, well, he must be American, but he isn't. He's Danish, you know. So, born and bred in Denmark as well, so not just somebody who took up Danish citizenship. So Eagles come back with Pulliam, Knight, Alan Akins, Long and James. Bakken have Danverville, Hargrove, Tucker, King and Jukic. I'm never sure whether it's Jukic or Jukic. I should know that. I had him for a season, his brother, but so here's Pulliam to Alan Akins. Knight takes it off him. Good ball movement, good movement by the Eagles. Inside to Alan Akins, but Hargrove got hands on it. Danverville got it, and Hargrove puts it in.
Yeah, nice deflection there, and what a great Euro step to finish.
25-17. Pulliam, once again, Cora still sitting. Don't think we'll see him while the Eagles are up. Pulliam is going into that shot mode. You almost know, don't you, as you said there, when he shakes like that, he's got to go and shoot. Tucker comes forward. Jukic into King. Eagles in zone, really. Out to Tucker for a long three. Misses it long. It is who gets the rebound. Gives it to Pullian. Alan Aikens. Little drop-off ball to James. Nice spin move by James. And the foul is on Tucker. And he will go at the basket to shoot two. Christian James.
Yeah.
Fantastic first half last week. 17 points in the half. Finished with 19. They did a really good job on him second half.
Yeah. Talking about good jobs, you look at the potential of this Eagles team there. That last offence from Bakken, you have a guy who's a real threat in the low post position, banging away, and guess what? He's guarded by a guard. But the guard did a terrific job on him. Seneca Knight can guard guys much bigger than him when they try to back him down into the low post.
But like you said about Christian James, Seneca Knight's a big guard, isn't he? He's actually one of the Eagles' leading rebounders as well. In fact, I think he might be the leading rebounder for the Eagles.
Well, we don't have to worry any longer about what Coach Stutler's been pondering regarding bringing back of Mike Okora. No hesitation, in he comes.
Yeah.
But in fairness, I think the Eagles have enough firepower to withstand, even if he picks up his third in this quarter.
Seneca Knight averaging 5.4 rebounds a game in this competition. Jukic, D'Amberville to King. He's going to, again, he's trying to back them down, but Alan Aiken stood well there, but King did well to get the ball over him.
Aiken could have done any better, Dave. Just better offense.
Coro is going to launch
ball.
the three.
What a great two-man exchange.
Hargrove Jr. back to Tucker. I think we'll see Boland coming to the bench. Tucker to Jukic. Jukic drives in, back out. D'Amberville from the corner, and it's missed. King gets a good offensive rebound. Travel called.
Yeah. Second one, isn't it, where he's done a massive step with it. Just, you know what the rules are. Your pivot foot can't leave the floor until you advance the ball. No complacency in the start for the second quarter from the Eagles, which is a good sign for the home team.
Cole Long, hands off to James. He can set and screens and popping out, get the ball.
And players making good rolls off the screens are setting.
Cole Long for three. Oh, in and out again. Good shot though, Mark Stutler. Like the intention from his team there. Applauding from the sidelines.
I mean, if you look at the stats of the SBL, Jeff, the Eagles have got 3 players in the high percentage position from beyond the three-point line. That's great for any team to have. But you can add other guys who can knock down the three to those 3.
And there's Mike Okora's first points of the game. A lot of contact between King and Cole. They're really getting into it. Hargrove Jr. is... Well, Christian James...
A lot of contact maybe, but if you're going to start calling those fouls, you'd be blowing all night. I thought that was good refereeing. And I think here, I don't think there's any question at all that the appeal for an unsportsmanlike will be even considered by the referees. No. That, to me, was just a common foul.
Yeah, and the thing was as well, the whistle, as soon as the whistle went, Christian James put his hand up because he knew he'd fouled. So 29-19, Eagles lead by 7 on aggregate, but he has a chance for Hargrove to pull it back.
Let's make some noise.
And we've got young Simon Schwartz is on the court as well now. 7-foot centre. Another one of these guys who's come through the Bakken Academy.
Obviously a club that's not frightened to try its youth.
No, they've got 5 or 6 guys on the bench who all came through that academy. Not tonight, but just in general when you look at their roster. So he's missed the second. Made the first, missed the second. A lot of missed free throws. Darius Defoe, well, Schwartz did well there.
He did stood his ground well, didn't he?
Just stood his ground very well. Boland calling for something.
Set a nice screen and roll there as well.
Off the backboard for two, Skylar Boland.
Wow, he can't get any tougher finish than that. I don't think he meant it, but at the end of the day, what matters is the 2 point scores on the score sheet.
Gap 7 points now. There's Pullian, he's going to attack the basket. Lovely change of hand as well there. Got to lay it in with his left hand.
Pullian has great change of pace when he decides to go on a straight line drive.
Oh, there's a nice play by Boland as well at the other end.
Well, it's a good execution of guard play we're seeing at the moment.
Both point guards going to the basket very effectively, and he has Pullian
There's
going
another
again.
one.
This time he's missed though.
Again, he got that, created that space for himself with his change of speed.
Pass into Jukic. Back to Jukic, but no, Cole Long nips in and takes it away. Cole Long, one of the best defenders in this league, I think.
Who's that?
Cole Long.
Cole Long, he, you know, is Mr. knock it down from three when you need it, but he's also good at getting in, tipping rebounds in. He's also good at defending the rim, and he does his fair share of taking defensive rebounds.
Pullian out, Knight back in. Cole Long will shoot the three, will he? No.
Now, smart play from Cole. He didn't really have a clean look.
Seneca Knight. Knight back to Okoro. Okoro from miles downtown is short, but Eagles get on the boards well. The Knight is unfortunate, but tell you what, really good offensive rebounding by the Eagles there.
Yeah, what was equally impressive was the way the players who didn't have the open look moved the ball quickly to players who were in a much better position.
Cole Long comes out, Alan Aikens back in. Philip Ates in the game as well for the first time tonight. Another one of those young Bakken juniors. Jukic, that's short. Ward Hibbert takes a rebound, and as Ward Hibbert does, attacks at the other end. Misses his layup, but he's going to be called for a foul. Bakken thought, one, it was a foul at the other end, and two, it was a travel by Ward Hibbert, but neither of that was called.
Yeah, I mean, again, you've got to be impressed how quickly Ward Hibbert took that defensive rebound and turned it into offense. No pass needed with Ward Hibbert. He just heads straight for the basket.
And now gets rewarded with 2 free throws. Hometown bounce, I think they call that. Rattled up above and then just dropped nicely in. Talk about free throws being important. Bakken have already missed 5 of their 9. Eagles have made 7 of 8. Very, very impressive. So 33-24, 11 points on the night, 8 points on aggregate. Boland turns the corner, knocks the 3 down. You can't leave that guy open for 3, that's for certain.
No. On the plus side, though, over half the quarter gone, and the Eagles only registered 1 team foul.
Alan Aikens. Nice pass to Darius Defoe. Darius Defoe doesn't miss those ones very often.
Normally money in the bank, that pass, isn't it, to Darius at that range.
Jukic back to Boland. Boland is short this time. Nice tip by Schwartz. Ates almost got it. Hargrove Jr. did, but he's missed his 3 again. Bakken bears 1 of 9 from 3-point range. Alan Aikens with a mid-range jumper is no good. Schwartz gets the rebound, gives it to Jukic. Jukic coming over, going coast to coast, but he's just lost the ball completely. Alan Aikens will go all the way. Oh, wow, that was a great play by Hargrove.
That block coming
all the way,
from as early as the halfway line.
And also saw the alley-oop
what
but
a
he missed
pity.
it.
The youngster ran the floor brilliantly, got himself in the right position, just couldn't finish the alley-oop pass.
So, a nice pass by Okoro, but there's Hargrove again for another brilliant block.
Wow.
Bowling at the other end for 3 is good. And that Mark Stootle has seen enough, because that's got the tie level on aggregate.
That time out there, I'll guarantee you, was called by Coach Stootle. That was in the making when Stootle realised they were getting back into rhythm.
So yeah, so we're back at 33-30 on the night. That means it's level on aggregate over the tie as well. And Skylar Boland is a man there who's come alive for the Bears. He's now up to 12 points personal, 2 of 4 from 3-point range, and he's made his last 2, missed his first 2.
You know, you can coach things all night long that you want to be a plus for your team, but you get 2 blocks like that. Boy, does it ignite your team, particularly into the running game. Because after both those blocks, they took off at 100 miles an hour for the Eagles basket.
It's interesting that we said about the Bears bench being a little bit short and also young, but everybody on the Bears bench is kind of like contributing a little bit. So you've got to have respect for everybody who comes out on court. Eagles changing things up again. Long coming back in with Knight, Ward, Hibbert, O'Connor,
and he's staying with the young guy.
Yeah, Simon. I want to call him Stephen Schwartz, but that's just a nod out to the ex-Sunderland footballer.
Well, Schwartz will do.
Eagles looking to get back in front. 3:14 on the clock, 33-30. Ward Hibbert looked to get Knight inside, but wasn't there. Is blocked out, and I think Schwartz got a piece of that. But Defoe picked it up, got it back along, and there's a steal from Boland, not quite. Knight attacks the baseline, he can't make it, but that's going to be a foul call.
Well,
foul, I think, is going to be on 7. The referee's definitely called more fouls than any of the others.
I was going to say, there was so much action in that last saves of play there. I'd probably need to see the replay 3 times to pick it all up.
Seneca Knight on the line for 2. Makes the first.
Again, I was impressed with Cole Long. The moment his shot was taken away from what he thought was an easy shot, he created another one for a teammate.
He's a kind of a little bit of an under the radar player, Cole Long. Seneca Knight makes both. Just quietly goes about his business, does what he does. Mark Stootle thinks an awful lot of him, and I can see why. Speaking of a lot of people, I think I was expecting Djukic might have taken a bit more of a lead, as in shooting and scoring. He likes to pass the ball though. Danish international. There's a shot, and he's made it. Maybe he's hearing me, I don't know.
Very, very difficult. You get a player of that height who can do a step back that effectively, difficult to guard.
Eagles through Ward Hibbert into Defoe. Defoe turns, good position.
Great job from the young guy.
But Defoe was able to spin and find Okora outside the arc, and
but no matter how good your defense is, you can't recover onto that speed of ball movement.
Schwartz sets the screen, giving it back, and he's fouled by Okoro, I think. Darius Defoe trying to claim the foul.
I think the referees are having the discussion about it. And it's not the Okora's foul, I don't think.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? It wasn't the Okora's foul. Darius Defoe claimed it, and Seneca Knight's been given it. So.
And out of all that, you credit to the referees, that was good refereeing.
Yeah, talking it over.
Let's make some noise.
Well, if you're a Bakken Bear fan, you're wishing that these two will go home, because the Eagles have started a little bit of a mini run. This will be one good way to stop it.
Makes the first, young Schwartz.
Loud and proud, let's make some noise.
Misses the second though. Christian James, uncontested rebound. 1:44 to go. Eagles just in front by 5, therefore just in front on in the tie by 2. Defoe spins round Schwartz. Can't make it though. Josh Ward-Hibbert, excellent offensive rebound. Here's a Coro, he'll go to the basket, but Jukic, great block. We're seeing some shots blocked tonight,
So
Dave.
we are getting some shots blocked, Jeff. It'll be an interesting fact for you to look at half time.
Well, that was, I think, the 4th or 5th one for Bakken. It feels like they've had more, but they make substitution. Hargrove, miscommunication. When you bring 2 guys on and you've got an end-line ball at the opposition, you've got to be switched on, and the 2 guys who came on weren't.
If the Eagles wish for a breakdown in the Bracken defence, they were certainly granted the wish there.
Berg and Hargrove Jr. had come on, and they just neither of them were in sync. Berg does a good job to get to the basket, but he can't make his reverse layup. Christian James goes straight down the middle, kicks it back out to Pullian, who refused the 3, signals to Defoe. Pullian, there you go, there's that shake and bake. First step, lays it in for 2. And Bakken, I think, have called a timeout. Their last 45.7 to go. It is, I believe, 42-33. Yeah, 42-33. So 9 points on the night, 6 points on aggregate.
Yeah, there was a point there when they actually got within 1 point when you factor in their 3-point advantage from the first leg. But every time that has happened, Eagles have grouped, regrouped, gathered it, weathered the storm, and taken back control of the game.
High scorers in the game for Bakken. Skylar Boland has 12, Sylvester Berg has 7, and Ural King has 6. For the Eagles, they're much more spaced out. Ward-Hibbert has 9, Okoro has 7, Defoe has 6, Alan Akins has 5, and James has 5. Rebounds, Ward-Hibbert. Well, Ward-Hibbert also is leading the rebounds. He has 6. Christian James has 5. And for Bakken, Berg has 4, and they have 3 players on 3.
Yeah, and there's one big factor when you look at that scoreboard that Coach Tuchel will want to see remain in this form until half-time is nobody on his team has more than 2 fouls.
Yeah, and when you consider a core of pick-up,
and when you have that short the bench, and the same for Bracken, if you're a little bit short on your bench and you go into a big game like this and you've got nobody on 3 fouls, that's the results at the end of the first half.
Jukic brings it forward inside the last 40 seconds. Could go 2 for 1. Still plenty time. Jukic again, this time he's off the backboard, no good. Pullian pulls the rebound down. Well, there's about 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. I think Pullian's going to run it down as far as he can. He's well aware of the clock. Attacks, gets round, and the floater is good. Christian James almost comes up with a steal, but that's 44-33 at the half. 11 points the gap. 8 points on aggregate, but it was like this last week as well.
Yeah, so, you know, the focus in the dressing room at half-time, part of it will be to remind them of the swing that went towards Bracken in that 3rd quarter. And above all, Coach Tuchel will want to avoid that situation there. Great finish from Christian Poole, he just had so many multiple moves there to create that thing, and in the end he earned that nice birthday type drop for it to go in for him. So Eagles at the moment well worth that 11-point lead.
Yeah, so far so good for Mark Stuttle and his team. 44-33 they lead at the break. We will show you some highlights of the first half, and while you're watching that, we will get some stats together for you as well and come back to you in about 10 minutes or so.
honey, look how we made it this far. Hasn't the pace been alarming, honey? Then take a look at where we are. Haven't we made it, my love? Oh, honey, you, I owe it to you. Owe it to you.
ENBLeague. Ice in the veins, ice, 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 ice in the veins. ENBLeague. Ice in the veins, ice in the veins, ice, 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 ice in the veins. ENBLeague.
Okay, and welcome back. 3:15 to go before the start of the second half. Crucial second half for both sides. Eagles currently 11 points on the night, 8 points on aggregate. Both teams probably had a good long talk about how they're going to. Eagles just probably want to continue on the way they're going, and Bakken obviously have got to find some answers for the second half. Just have a few highlights here from the first half. This is early on when Berg was going. There's Ward Hibbert driving hard to the basket, going coast to coast and laying it in for two. This is Alan Akins when he just steps back, knocks down the three. Seneca Knight turning, spinning and getting the drop on his fadeaway two-shot. And that was when the foul was called as well. Skylar Boland at the other end. Off the backboard and in for two. Bank open on a Tuesday night. There's Boland again, setting something up for Bakken. And this time he creates a shot for himself and makes one of only two 3-point they've made. Darius Defoe, nice work in the paint. Out to Okoro, and Okoro knocks down his three to take him up to 7 points personal on the night. Here's Pullian. He's on 8 points for the night, and you can see why that was the last basket of the half by Trey Pullian, which left us at 44-33. And I'm going to put some stats up for you on there. And I think, Dave, as one of the things I was going to highlight was the shooting percentages. I mean, they're a big difference here. 3-point shots, not so much of a difference, but a big difference on the 2-point shoots, and the free throws in particular, a massive difference there. If you look at the rest, it's all pretty much even, although Bakken have got 9 turnovers against the Eagles 3.
Yeah, there's some good tactical battles going on out there as well, because one of their strengths is they run multiple pick and rolls, and when they run them, they have the ability to involve all 5 players. Not just a matter of the person who's handling the ball and the person who's rolling, all of the 5 in. But I'll tell you what, that's been a challenge to the Eagles defence, which the Eagles defence has withstood and won. Also, the speed at which the Eagles are getting the ball off the backboard and into transition has been a real challenge for their defence. And I'd like to see the Eagles do much more of that in the second half. And we all know what happened in Denmark last week. They came out at this point and the Eagles lost this next quarter by 12 points.
Just looking at some individual stats as well for the Eagles. Josh Ward-Hibbert has 9 points and 6 rebounds. Trey Pulliam has 8 points and Mike Okoro has 7. For the Bears, it's Skylar Boland with 12, Sylvester Berg with 7, and Uriel King with 6. I suggest they probably need a little bit more from King, Jukic and Hargrove Jr. probably are the 3 that they really need to step up. For the Eagles, Mark Suter, with having Okoro back in the lineup or back on the roster, has the advantage of being able to rotate a little bit more. Although, to be fair to Bakken's youngsters, they've done very well when they've come on. Looks like the game boards have gone down.
And the one thing I was looking for, I now see that Coach Tuchel has elected that Mike Okoro will start the second half. I think that's good coaching, that's a good move.
The interesting thing is he's taken Seneca Knight, who started, isn't starting the second half. Trey Pulliam is going to start instead. We have got a little bit of a problem with the scoreboard. I think the shot clocks, I'm not sure what the shot clock, but the scoreboard is definitely not working 100% at the moment.
And we highlighted, didn't we, 1 or 2 things where an Eagles guard is faced with a person who's pounding away at him in the low post, and how well the Eagles are doing in that. And when you have a team like that, then you've got a great team in terms of being able to carry out the threat that is switching defense.
just look at the high rebounders for Bakken. Sylvester Berg has 4, Jukic has 3, Bolin has, King has 3 and Hargrove Jr. has 3. Assist-wise, Bolin has 3 assists, as does Jukic. For the Eagles, mentioned Joshua Oliver with 6, nobody else, and Christian James has got 5 rebounds as well to go with his 5 points.
Well, people talk about how important the mental side of the game is, and obviously the Eagles came out there and Bracken came out there expecting this second half to tip off. There's been a delay, and this is where the mental strength of teams really comes into play.
Yeah, because you come out ready, and you've had your talk, you're all fired up and you know what you want to do, and then you come out and whoop, the scoreboard's got off. It looks like it might be coming back now. Yep. Shot clock's on, scoreboard's on. Looks like we're just about ready to go. Referees haven't called it yet though. They're just still waiting for something. There across at the table. In the meantime, we're showing you a bit more. More first half highlights. Alan Akins, when he does that, it's very, very difficult to guard indeed. Referee's happy.
That's ready to go. With 20 minutes remaining, we will have.
Now we've already had a couple of teams who are through to the Final Four. Inter Bratislava are through to the Final Four. And CSO Voluntaria of Romania are also through to the Final Four. Who will join them from tonight? Well, we're about to find out in this next 20 minutes. And it's the visitors who make the first one. Great steal by Michael Caro. And as King went to the basket, and the Euro step from Trey Pulliam is effective at the other end, and the Eagles off and running.
Well, that had everything we talked about at half-time. Multiple pick and rolls involving all 5 players on the back and there. The Eagles defense not only withstanding it, but getting a steal to start their transition, and a great finish from Pulliam.
And they've finally made one. King missed one, got the rebound. Skylar Bolin found Hargrove Jr. and he nails his 3 just to bring it back by a point. Alan Akins with Berg. He's backing Berg right down. The hook is no good. King takes his rebound. Bolin skip pass across to Jukic. He gives it to King. King's going to attack the basket with Darius Defoe. Great defense, great hands. He gets the ball back. Eagles on the high side.
There was contact there from Darius Defoe, but absolute minimal contact. That shouldn't have resulted in a lost ball for the Bears.
I was just going to say Darius Defoe's got good position under the basket. That's going to be a travel. Went up, came down, went up again. Felt he was fouled, but nope, referee called the travel.
Defense.
Bolin pushes it into King. King finds Jukic.
Again, great use of multiple screens from the Bears.
Hargrove Jr. back to Bolin. Down to 4 on the shot clock. King's going to have to put it up. He does put it up, but he's missed again. Two 3-point shots from King. Didn't take any in the first half. He's missed them both though. A corner from the corner. Oh, great rebound by Alan Akins. Back to Defoe, who steps inside the arc. Can't make his 15-footer.
Yeah, that range there is normally as good as a free throw for Darius. Not tonight.
Berg turning. Hargrove Jr. for another 3 is missed.
Well, he certainly likes that spot, doesn't he, for getting his 3-point shot off.
Moorhibbert takes the rebound, comes charging down the other end, but he's given it away. Berg did really well to save that. Bolin up for 3 and is good. Skylar Bolin up to 15 points personal.
Edging back into the game, and that mistake there from Ward Hibbert was he charged, he had his head down, he didn't have his head up as he had in the first half, completely lost his vision on what was going on defensively against him.
Again, he's trying, he's give the ball away, and Berg's come at the other end, lays it in, and Mark Stewart says, I'm having a timeout, I'm going to cut the momentum, because it's now down to 5 points on the night, which means the Eagles are up by 2 on aggregate.
I wouldn't have, because the wife wouldn't have been impressed, but you would almost put your house on that timeout coming. You could just see the momentum shifting.
Yeah. Well, particularly as
he was getting a little bit careless.
A couple of turnovers.
Yeah.
They only had 3 turnovers in the first half.
Executing really well. Very good timeout from Coach Stewart. This is not a point when everything that's at stake in this game, you start worrying about keeping your 3 timeouts. When there's a need in a game like this, you go for it, you call it.
Well, we won't know the final 4 make-up until after tomorrow night's game. Bamberg of Germany, who are very highly rated, very fit. They got beat by 22 in the first half by Suzuki Warsaw. So they've got to somehow try and bring 22 points back. And then once that game finishes tomorrow night, it will be announced where the final 4 will be played. Will it be the Eagles or will it be the Bears that go to wherever it's played?
Well, we're looking at 46-41, which is really 46-44.
It's a good point, Dave.
So everything to play for in this game.
Yes,
clearly that scoreline, when you look at it like that, gives the Bears the advantage in the first 3 minutes or so of this quarter. Eagles. And again, the defense is overplaying everything, causing the Eagles problems.
Christian James, nice turnaround, but he can't make it. Good work by Darius Defoe on the offensive board, so gets the ball back out to Alan Aikens.
Yeah,
he's asking for space.
Waving for the clear out, giving chance for his moves.
Had to be a foul there, but Pullian went down to the baseline. Fouls on King. His first of the night. As Dave said at half-time, nobody really in foul trouble at the moment.
And first foul of this quarter. Good sign that the referees, where possible, are letting the game flow.
Eagles inbound to Alan Aikens. He's looking for Defoe inside, goes inside himself, all the way to the basket and lays it in. Andrew Summers not happy about it, felt an elbow was being used.
Aikens absolutely outmaneuvered everybody there.
Hargrove Jr. comes back out to Bowling gives it to Jukic. He goes to the basket, gives it to Berg, and Berg drives the baseline and lays in.
Great examples of how to play without the ball and read. Read and react was at his very best in that offense.
Talk about read and react there. There's an example. Trey Pullian.
There's one skill above all else that he uses. That's a change of pace.
Hargrove Jr. finds Berg inside. Berg will go, gives it to King. King lays it in. Oh, he doesn't lay it in. And Darius Defoe gets the rebound and knocks it off Berg to get Eagles end-line ball.
Darius Defoe may be getting on in the years, but boy, was he active in that defensive play.
D'Ambreville comes in for Berg. Getting inside the Bears, but it's just not finishing at the moment. Pullian takes D'Ambreville to the cleaners, but can't make the layup this time. King comes up with the ball, gives it to Jukic. Nice turn, nice play by Darko Zukic. Game on the knife edge, really. 4:52 to go. It's only a 5-point gap. Foul by 4, E.J. D'Ambreville. Cole Long saying like a night for Michael Coro and Deshaun Allen Aikens.
I think Darius expected he would be one of the subs out there, but I would personally have left him in, which Cole Stutler has done, and the reason is he has been so active away from the ball.
Setting big screens. Here's Cole Long.
I'm not sure what that foul was for, because although it looked like the early contact, I don't think it was, but I think he grabbed the player after he'd completed a dribble. In any event, it makes no difference because the foul's gone against him.
Yeah, Jukic wanted his coach to go to the video printer or VAR, whatever it's called.
There would have been a case for that, I think. It was very, very difficult to interpret that.
James for three is good! Eagles perhaps just needed that little bit of a breathing space. Bowling brings it back up. Christian James knocking around the three. The foul's going to be given on Trey Pullian.
Yeah, I think there's been too many situations like that this season when that would have been called as a moving foul by the offensive player setting the screen, but Pullian clearly initiated that contact.
And I think Jukic may have getting a technical foul here. Yeah. Jukic getting a technical foul. Bit silly when you've got the foul in your call in your favour. But Darko Jukic
well,
is
you can see how impressed the coach is. He's going nuts with the player. That is absolutely the last thing he needed at that point in time.
And now he's getting in between. Meanwhile, Christian James makes the free throw. We will go back to the other end. And as you say, Andreas Sommer really getting into Darko Jukic.
This guy's been doing a decent job for him as well. Christian James showing there's no hard feeling. Good sportsmanship from Christian.
Jukic, Christian James hits him on the arm, puts his hand up straight away.
In the main, I like the Danish number 8. I think he's done a lot of good things in this game, but he does occasionally get himself involved in things that he needn't. At this stage of the game, you don't want to be giving away either unsportsmanlike technicals or whatever to give the opposition, to allow the opposition to take the advantage back when your team should be claiming it.
Makes 1 of 2. Makes them now 6 of 12 from the free throw line.
But despite the best effort of the Bears, the Eagles are fairly comfortably maintaining that 8-point lead on the night.
Nice pass by James to Defoe. Seneca Knight dancing. Those dancing feet.
Again, one of the great moves in modern basketball. Step back, jump shot, almost impossible to guard.
One of Seneca Knight's signature moves. Jukic has lost the ball to Cole Long.
I think the coach might consider giving him a few minutes on the bench.
Yes, and Sylvesterberg's gone to the chunk bench. Trey Pullian knocks down another 2.
Again, defense has got to be consistent. You can't suddenly relax against a player like Pullian.
He's up to 14 points personal, Pullian now. Jukic turns the corner, flicks it back to Bolin. Bolin's asking for a screen from King. And it's going to be a foul by Pullian, trying to fight through the screen. That's
moves him up to 3 points, and
it's 2.
I've noticed in recent games he's just a little bit prone to foul problems at times, Christian.
Dave, that's why you're a coach. Sylvesterberg's come on. Who's gone off? Darko Jukic. Trey Pullian having to come out as well, because I think that was his third foul.
I thought the coach would make that move.
Stuart answers it with a move of his own. Getting Josh Ward-Hibbert back on. Hargrove Jr. And the Eagles are getting some great deflections on the ball. Another defensive stop. Just keeping it nice, keeping it tight. Or Cole Long can't find Ward-Hibbert though. A lot of turnovers at the moment. Bolin, the Dambril, back to Bolin. Back again, but once again, Eagles get hands on the ball.
Yeah, all Eagles certainly prepared to put in the shift on defense tonight.
Yeah, they've only conceded 46 points. So Waterford did really well. They almost travelled, but didn't quite. Cole Long now loses the ball, and that'll be a foul on Cole Long.
You know, sometimes you say to a player, stay within what you're good at. What Cole is much good at is looking there. If he hasn't got his shot there, he's moving the ball away and waking and not getting involved in this amount of ball handling he's done in the last two offences, where he's lost the ball on both occasions. Stay within what you're good at. That is a great hallmark of a great basketball player at all levels.
That's why I don't play, because what I'm good at is not playing.
No answer to that.
Referee's just checking the court, I think, for Sweat. I'm not sure. Gamberville trying to get the ball in, but can't. Has to bring it up himself. Gives it back to Berg. High offense to Hargrove Jr. Back into Berg. Going to be a foul on Cole Long. That will be his third foul. Trey Pulley is actually only on 2 fouls. Eagles now in the penalty. Both teams actually in the penalty.
Yeah, I could say that's disappointment of the Eagles, but it's not a factor because both teams are in the penalty. And it's getting a very, very, very high-edgy competitive, this game, isn't it?
Let's make some noise.
Berg up to 12 points personal. That 13 points personal.
With a fairly high degree of confidence. Jeff, I think we can say that the Eagles have avoided the disaster that befell them in the third quarter over in Denmark last week.
Still 2:15 to go though, Dave.
Any signs of that? The players have got in a huddle, or Coach Stewart has made a substitution, and they've been able to maintain. And you know, I've been pretty impressed with them. They've maintained the poise on decision making.
10 points to
Again,
go.
a lot of patience there from Alan Aiken while Christian James completed that handoff pass.
Christian James just
He
seems
has
to
a
know
low
when
arm
to
on his shot, but he gets so high in the air, he gets away with it.
He just seems to know when to pull the trigger, Christian James, at times.
Well, he looks at his defensive player, and before you know it, he's in the air stroking the shot.
Hargrove Jr. is also getting into the swing of things as well. That's his second he's made in a row this quarter. So it's still 10 points to gap. Alan Aikens to Cole Long. Cole Long knocks down the three.
That's been his trademark, hasn't it, all season long. Good ball movement, he gets open at the end of it, swish.
And as you said, no point in keeping them back. Andrea Summer decides he wants a timeout as the Eagles are now 10 points up on aggregate. 1:27 to go in the third.
Yeah. Cole's not the tallest of players in the SNLBL for a forward, but boy can he stretch defences.
Believe it or not, they were his first points of the night.
Well, that happens sometimes to him, and I've seen him reel off. I mean, I think there was one game when he hadn't scored at all. He'd come into the last quarter, he ended up with 6 threes.
He's a shooter.
This is a team with multiple threes. This is a team with multiple guys who can get to the basket. But at the end of the day, one of the cores of this team is its ability to play defense when it matters the most.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Dave. Absolutely great point. That's what they pride themselves on, to be perfectly honest. And when you look at the top scorers, are both from the bench. Pullian with 14 and James with 12.
And the other thing, and we haven't mentioned him all night long, and I've felt so bad for him when it happened, is the value of Del Pesh.
Yeah.
Particularly in that defense. But not only that, he'll come up with a tip in out of nowhere. He'll come up with a great pick and roll move.
Jukic going to the basket, gets it over Knight for 2.
Yeah.
Not going away back.
His coach put him on the bench quite right here, but he's come back on and he's playing smart again.
Calmed him down. Eagles down to 6 on the shot clock. Christian James is going to have to put it up. It's short, but Ward Hibbett once again gets a rebound. Alan Aikens, nice play between the two. Brilliant play from Aikens. Great cut from Ward Hibbett. 2 more points for the Eagles. Hargrove Jr. Once again, Seneca Knight. Eagles defense has been excellent.
Yeah, do you know why? Got really good angles on off-ball defense. Knight there recognised he was a help defensive play, but he kept the triangle high and he was able to pick that pass up because of his positioning on defence.
Bears not getting anything easy. This will be an interesting clash here. Yeah, Ward Hibbett decides to switch. Jukic on Alan Aikens, kicks it out. Schwartz from the corner, no good. 24 seconds, yeah. Buzzer went before the shot. 9.6 left. Trey Pulliam coming on for one offense, I suspect.
I'm not quite sure there how the Bakken Bears lost track of the timing in that last offense.
Ward Hibbett comes out, the defensive master. Pulliam, the point guard, is in. 9.6 on the clock. Pulliam gets it over halfway very quickly. And he's going to go all the way here, you can tell. Oh, he's missed it, but oh, I think that would have been good if it had gone. Alan Aikens got a hand to it and tipped it up. 66-53. Eagles 10 minutes away from the Final Four.
What a difference a week makes, eh? Last week, comfortably going in at half-time thinking we've got this game under control. They lose the third quarter by 12 points. Look at that tonight. They're up by more than 12, but obviously then we have to take that 3 off and add it to the Bakken Bears score. So long time to go, 10 minutes still. This game is not over yet, but the Eagles can't help but be pleased with the way this game went in that third quarter for them.
10 points it is on aggregate. Just have a look at some scorers for Bakken. It's Skylar Boland with 15, 3 of 5 from 3-point range. Sylvester Berg with 13 points. And Terrence Hargrave Jr. with 9. For the Eagles, 3 players in double figures. Trey Pulliam on 14, Christian James on 12, both from the bench. And from the starting 5, Josh Ward Hibbett, who has 11 points and 8 rebounds.
It's a red cup. It's X64. That's a red cup. X64. Wins 11-7. That's for this evening.
Here we go back, Michael Cora back in the game. Trey Pulliam, Alan Aikens, Cole Long and Christian James. E.J. Danberville, Terrence Hargrove Jr., Darko Zukic, Sylvester Berg and Simon Schwartz. And it's Cole Long all the way to the basket, but Berg fouls him.
Well, if that play was drawn up during that third quarter break, then it was executed to perfection. And the timing of the final roll by Cole Long was perfect.
And in some respects, if he makes both free throws, it's better than making the basket because there's foul thrown in there as well. He doesn't make the first free throw, so that shuts me up.
I mean, Cole, I thought had a pretty high percentage, isn't he? He's a free throw line.
He's about 80%, yeah.
Yeah.
Knocks the second one down.
Yeah. Beautiful rotation on the ball when he takes the free throw, and he has the same rotation on the ball when he takes the 3-point shot.
Hargrove.
Real great demonstration here how well they play without the ball.
Well, Danville's actually made one. I think that's the first one he's made.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's his first one he's made. His first points of the game. Christian James, Mike McCarroll. Good hands by Jukic, but Cole Long picks it up. Pullian turns the corner, gives it back to Cole Long. I think he fancies going against Swartz. And does fantastically well.
He rode a lot of contact there, but he focused well on his finish.
It's going to be a foul by Pullian.
I think that'll be on the ground, yeah? Can't see that being shooting foul.
End line ball given.
No, referee Webb. Sorry, Unwin.
Unsworth.
Unsworth. Get it right the third time.
End line, sideline ball. Jukic. I just feel, well, Hargrove Jr. misses his three-pointer. Just feel as if Bakken need to get some three-point shots going. King and Boland prepared to come back in. Pullian, Cole Long. The Cole Long's turned the youngster inside out there. Turned the youngster inside out. Got to the basket, didn't make it, but got fouled. He will go up the line to shoot two. Swartz comes out, as does Hargrove Jr. Boland and King back in.
And of course, one interesting fact here is you look at the five out on the court, two of them weren't even here at the start of the season.
It's very true. Pullian being the third point guard that the Eagles decided to go with. If they've stayed with him, he's done a good job for them.
Yep. And James came first, didn't he, of the two?
He was the first one to come in. Cole Long misses a pair, so he's missed 3 of 4. Just took the Eagles' percentage down quite a bit, but 13 points on the night, 10 points on average. Jukic seems to have had the ball an awful lot. Danville, he came back though, he had to shoot the three really. Oh, he's got the long rebound and attacks the basket well and scores. So apparently I gather the scoreboard's gone off on the stream, so we'll try and keep you up to date. We've got 7:57 left on the clock. The score is 69 Eagles, 58 Bears, 11 points on the night, 8 points on aggregate as Cole Long takes a seat and Darius Defoe comes in.
I think this is a good substitution by Coach Tuchel because the last few offences, the Bears have been directing their offensive efforts trying to get inside in the paint to the Eagles' basket. So Darius can certainly toughen up in that interior defence.
Meanwhile, Alan Aiken's doing Alan Aiken's things. Spin and a left-handed layup for 2 more. Eagles just stretching away, 71-58. That's going to be Pullian's 4th foul on Boland. Boland just has a good laugh at him, as if to say, like, I've been around a long time, young man. Stoughton will take Pullian out, doesn't want to lose him.
Well, I think that's an automatic. 4 fouls, 7 minutes to go. Good lead, good substitution. Because they're going to lose nothing defensively with Ward Hibbert coming on. He's one of the hardest working players you have in any team.
Berg attacks the basket again, puts it up high off the board. A lot of battling for the ball going on, and Christian James comes away with it.
Yeah, again, good to see Darius stiffening up that interior defence.
Alan Aiken's had a mismatch inside, but Okoro is off. Defoe though at the other end now. Offensive rebound. Who said he was too old? 40-year-old veteran, rebounding at both ends, then standing in the paint to get the pass, and then it misses out to Josh Ward Hibbert, who knocks down the 3. It's 74-58. That 16 points on the night, 13 points on aggregate, and Coach Andrea Summers got no hesitation and no choice really but to call a timeout.
Yeah, and your point about Darius, I say, you know, he's come on and immediately you can see the stiffening up and the tightening up of that defence inside the paint, and he's obviously the British version of Robert Parrish. Does that mean anything to you?
Robert Parrish, of course it does, Dave.
Yeah, you know, one of the great Boston Celtic players.
I'll tell you, right? You say Robert Parrish, so I'm going to tell you. Danny Ainge, Dennis Johnson, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Robert Parrish. 85-86 Celtics.
Yeah.
There you go.
Robert Parrish continued to play until he was 42.
Yeah. My first team.
Darius has got a long way to go, and he's got another year to go, hasn't he?
What I'm saying is that the Boston Celtics were my first team game, like, even before I watched British basketball.
But you know, you could show a highlight film of Darius and say to all young players, just watch how active he is when he doesn't have the ball.
He's got 5 rebounds, 6 points, 2 assists, doing it all.
And a lot of leadership.
Yeah, big leader. That's why he's capped. He's been around a lot of years. Been here since he was 18-year-old. 28 trophies, 22 years. Incredible. Djukic attacks Ward Hibbert, gets round him. Nice play by Djukic.
Good move.
Yeah.
He's equally comfortable going either way, but for a right-handed player, he does love going to his left.
Coro to James, gets it back. Coro playing the point at the moment. Alan Aikens back to Okoro. He's going to go. Gives it to Alan Aikens for 3. It's good. Eagles starting to roll.
You know, how smart is Mike Okoro? He's missed a few games. He's coming, and he's just doing it a different way tonight. He's quite happy to help his teammates to get open shots.
His 3rd assist of the night. Fouled us by Josh Ward Hibbert. Acknowledges it. Well, 5:54 to go. The score is 77-60 in favour of the Eagles on the night, which means they lead by 14 overall.
Nobody's lighting a cigar, and the fat lady's not singing, but it's looking good for the Eagles.
It's just been very solid all night, but particularly defensively.
I think the
Defense.
D'Ambreville gets away from.
I mean, that was just
James.
great. That was just a great shot because I probably had a finger on the ball.
Yeah, James said to Mark Stuttle, I did as well as I could there. Couldn't really do much more.
You know, when people criticise defensive players, you've got to remember that a defensive player has to react to an offensive player. So he's always that just fraction of a second. And in that situation there, that was a great curl move by the Black and Bears player. And the defensive player reacted, and he reacted well and almost got a finger on the shot.
Just didn't quite get there in time. At the other end, Josh Ward Hibbert was being called for a foul on Skylar Boland. Offensive foul.
Yeah, puts the Eagles in the penalty.
Yeah, a long time to be in the penalty, 5.5 minutes. King for 3, no good. Rebound taken by Alan Aikens. Who's now at the other end, looking to get inside, gives it to James. He gives it back to Aikens, almost a 3-second call, I think.
And there's
5 seconds.
Defoe on the weak side, directing everybody.
Okoro's off. King takes the rebound. Boland for 3 at the other end is good again.
Tremendous outlet pass. Great transition there from the Bears, showing that they think it's not over yet.
No, I think when you got a guy like
Shooter thinks it's not over yet.
Yeah, he's called a timeout.
Timeout, yeah.
Skylar Boland up to 18 points, 4 of 7 from 3-point range now. And when you got a guy like Skylar Boland around, you know that the Bakken Bears will not give up. Score is 77-65 in favour of the Eagles, which is a 12-point lead. and that's 9 points on aggregate. 4:54 to go. I gather the score panel is still off, so forgive me for keep giving you reminders, but it's you know, basketball is a fast-moving sport. We want to make sure that you know where we are in the situation of the game. Currently, the Eagles just under 5 minutes away from making the Final Four. Lead by 9 on aggregate and 12 points on the night. 77-65. Trey Pullian back on. He will bring the ball forward. Alan Aikens, who's had a big game, seems to have been around the ball a lot tonight. Pullian gives it back to Alan Aikens. He's going to attack the basket. Brilliant little floater. Excellent play by Alan Aikens. Thank you very much. He made the commentator look very good.
Yeah, great move from Alan Aikens. I would say that if there's one player on the Eagles team where you're going to give a little bit of space to when you're a defender, it's Alan Aikens, because he's got such good spin moves and footwork and everything else. He can easily leave you for dead if you play him too tight.
Yeah, and he's up to 14 points personal now. Hargrove is off. Alan Aikens got a touch on it, and it'll be a foul by Darius Defoe. Alan Aikens has 14 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, no turnovers and a steal. Excellent night for him.
Some moves that are not in any coaching manual.
Sylvester Berg on the line, and that's a start in itself, Dave. 4 minutes left in the game, and that was Darius Defoe's first foul. Not often you can say that.
So he's adding smarts to his list of attributes he's claimed over the years. I know how to play now without fouling after all these years. Because you could guarantee Darius would always try and win the battle to be the first player to pick up 5 fouls in any game in his younger days.
Well, maybe it's the European referees help him, I don't know. But Sylvester Berg, missed both free throws, but he's going to have a second chance for his second one. And it's an air ball. He's actually thrown up an air ball. Bakken putting the press on now, I think. Yeah. An air ball, so it's a sideline.
Yeah, a little bit of a... Looks more like a 1-2-2. I think it's very flexible, actually. It could be a 1-2-2, it could be a 1-2-1-1.
A long pass by Coral, finds forward Hibbert. Back to Pullian. Eagles haven't broken the press, but they are over halfway. They've still got 10 seconds left on the clock. Pullian knows
just looking at the bench, glancing at the bench. Is this the right thing you want me to do, coach?
Shake and bake.
Clock a little bit.
2-point shot is off. Jukic takes the rebound. Back come the Bears. Ball in to Hargrove Jr. Back from kick to Bolin. Bolin will go for the 3 and makes the 3 again.
Bolin, wasn't it? The whole of the offense, Bolin saying we need a 3.
Yeah.
He played like that, he did like that, and he ended up getting one.
I did say to Skylar before the game, I hope you have a great game yourself personally, but that your team lose. Well, he's up to 21 points personal and his team are down by 11. Getting both wishes. Pullian on the baseline, lovely floater from Trey Pullian. Up to 16 personal. The point guard's having a battle. Ball in this time, his 3-point shot is off. Bakken can't get the rebound. Boland's decided it's going to be him or nothing. Eagles clocks in their favour as well.
Yeah.
Almost doesn't matter if they don't shoot. I'm not sure they see it that way. Doesn't matter because the man they call the get out of jail card knocks down the 3, and Andreas Sommer with 2:26 to go, and the score at 84 to Newcastle, 68 to Bakken. He calls his last time out. So that's 16 points on the night, 13 points on aggregate. think the fat lady's warming up, Dave.
Getting very warm. The light is out as well.
Yep.
Obviously, it can be done in 2:26. But I think that the Eagles, in their own mind now, they've got a real mindset about how they're going to manage this game out.
And we talked about before the game, and and you have to look at the first leg. When the Eagles were without Okoro, they kept Bakken to 3. That was an excellent effort. Tonight, the Bears without Polakovic, who caused all the mayhem in the first leg, but having Okoro back has made a big difference.
Yeah, I think mentally as well, as much as anything, it would be a terrific boost for the players, because they know that Mike is one of the highest percentage shooting players behind the three-point line. He's also one of the great finishers going to the basket, but he gives his teammates so much confidence. He also knows that he'll find them if they're open, if he has got a difficult shot.
He's up to 10 points personal. Eagles got 5 players in double figures now. Bakken only got the 2. Which brings it forward. Eagles are all over him, but he gets it up. He doesn't get it in. King can't get it in either. Josh Ward-Hibbert will come away with it. Gets it to Okoro. Okoro was looking. He was going to go quarterback past Alan Akins, but decided against it. Pulling and said it will decide.
Josh Ward-Hibbert, with all the rebounding he does as a guard, has taken over where Larry Austin Jr. left off last year. See, this is good play from the Eagles. Pullian's got the ball, says, yeah, I'm not going to waste time. Come and try and get it off me. He's got the moves to beat people if they do.
Well called on Mike Okoro.
Tucker checks in on 147 at the buzzer.
Josh Ward-Hibbert's got 14 points and 9 rebounds. Skylar Boland comes out. Tyson Tucker comes in. Is it a reverse cigar game? Ural Kings makes the first.
14 points, 9 rebounds and a tremendous amount of effort. High energy performance from Josh Ward-Hibbert.
Ural King goes up to 8 points, but remember he's averaging 17 points a game in this competition, so he's way below his average tonight. Mike Okoro almost intercepted by Hargrove Jr.
Coach Shute will direct him to the last. Just one step back in your box, Mark, so you don't get a tee. But I think the referees will be looking at that.
Well, they'll never look at that. Alan Akins from way downtown. That might well be the exclamation point. That 3-pointer makes it 87-70. And he then takes a charge at the other end. And even Mark Stool starts celebrating now. 1:20 to go. Eagles ball, 87-70. 17 on the night, 14 on aggregate. And I think Coach Summer has decided I might as well give my young guys the last bit of court time. Pulls out Ural King. Stands on Simon Schwartz. Coach Stool, though, not returning the favour. Sauve Kande, Will Neighbour, who haven't seen any action, they're going to not see any action by the looks of it. He wants to make a mark here. Pulling, change of direction is incredible. Okoro tonight, he wasn't playing much in the second half, but he was 2 points in there. 89-70, not quite inside the last minute yet. Josh Ward-Hibbert called for the foul. It's his 4th foul, but it doesn't really matter now. He will go to the line, Djukic to shoot 2. Chance to go into double figures for him. Bakken missed. Bakken's free throw shooting right now is 10 of 20.
Make some noise.
That doesn't help your cause at all. Make that 11 of 20, so it's just sneaked over 50%. We have 1 minute left to play. Trey Pullian with the ball. Eagles up 89 to 71. 18 points on the night. 15 points on aggregate. Alan Aikens attacks the basket again. Lays it in for two. Deshawn Alan Aikens up to 19 points personal. And is he going to get a seat? Well, Sobe Candy is getting the last 47 seconds. Josh Ward-Hill comes out. And there may not be a big crowd in tonight, but they're making plenty noise as the Eagles are on their way to the European North Basketball League Final Four. 20 points on the night. And there's a block now by Alan Aikens. He's doing a lot right now. So the candy for three is just off. But I think there's actually going to be a foul, offensive foul by Michael Coro. And I think, is that his fourth? Yeah. Eagles have got a bunch of players on fourth, isn't
I was going to say that the crowd would have gone wild if Sabor had knocked that three down.
If you can, let's leave your seats and make some noise.
And the fans on their feet for the last 30 seconds, which means I can't see, so I'm going to get on my feet. Alan Aikens takes another rebound and goes coast to coast. Blocked though by Hargrove Jr. Seneca Knight follows up, and it's now 93-71. Took her at the other end, 93-73. But I think that's going to be all she wrote. D'Ambreville off his foot. 7.6 seconds. Eagles, Newcastle Eagles 93. Bakken Bears 73. The Eagles are going to the Final Four. Mark Stuttle just telling these players, just take the clock off, take the clock off. They don't need to do any more. Aggregates won, ties won. Fantastic defensive effort by the Eagles. Cole Long takes it over halfway, gives it to Seneca Knight, and that will be all she wrote. Seneca Knight actually puts a three-point shot up, but I think it was after the buzzer. Well, it's not the biggest crowd that the Eagles have ever had, but every single one of them is on their feet to celebrate and acknowledge this fantastic performance by the Newcastle Eagles. They've gone through on the night, winning 93-73, a 20-point win. It's a 17-point win on aggregate. And if anything, you know, the Eagles came into this quarter-final winning the group. They were 7-1. Bakken Bears finished fourth in their group, 4-4. I think tonight we've seen why.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would add to that, Jeff, I think very good summing up is on Friday night I stayed at home, obviously recovering from this operation I've had, and watched the Eagles. I was hugely disappointed the way they played against Bristol. But tonight, what an emphatic way to bounce back. Everything they did tonight was all in the plus columns. Really, really, really professional performance, and they thoroughly deserve going as the #1 seed from this group to the Final Four. Fantastic for the franchise after all these years of build-up work that they're able to go into a European situation on neutral court. Big time for them. Well done, everybody in the organisation.
And we've actually got a little banner out there which says Darius DeForce holding it up to the crowd, turned it around, and it's got on Final Four boarding pass. Nice little touch there from the Eagles. And well, what else can we say really? I think thoroughly well deserved. The Eagles are going to get behind it. You can see it there. And we've got some highlights there, but there's the board. Final Four boarding pass, ticket to the Final Four, flight number and everything on it. Well, we don't know where the Final Four is going to be, but it will be decided after tomorrow night's game in Bamberg, and we'll get our Final Four. But we've got 3 through so far. CSO Voluntari of Romania, Inter Bratislava of Slovakia, and the Newcastle Eagles of the UK and England.
We can't hear you. Make some noise.
Eagles celebrating mid-court.
Well, you'd think there was 3,000 people in here, wouldn't you, celebrating with them? And there'll be a lot of Eagles fans, I know, will be tuned in tonight and will be just as delighted as everybody is here. And just once again, what a great achievement for the organisation.
We've got a highlight of the second half coming up here now, and Eagles really did well in the second half. They came out well, and they just kept going, and then in the final quarter, just poured it on. And you can see Deshaun Allen-Akins had a really, really big night for the Eagles. Knocks down 2 points there. And that was the ball. Darius Defoe's assist out to Josh Ward-Hibbert for 3.
Yeah, certainly all the stars came out to play tonight.
Lovely play that. What a lovely, probably the player of the night, to be perfectly honest. But Darko Djukic getting 2 there, but it's back again. The Eagles come back. Michael Coro, great assist. And Allen-Akins from way downtown for 3. Skylar Boland, who did try his best for his team, the captain, ended up with 21 points personal, hit 5 of 7 from 3-point range. But there's Allen-Akins again. He seemed to be everywhere in that, especially in that second half.
That's an example of multiple opportunities tonight when the Eagles have made tough finishes look easy.
Boland again, another 3-pointer, answered by Allen-Akins at the other end. He can go to the basket, he can shoot from outside. And again, look, spinning round, in he goes. Not sure whether he got the MVP, but he certainly was there. Well, so that's it for tonight. Final 4 will be held to be decided after tomorrow night's game. But Eagles won't be too worried about that. They know they'll be there wherever it's going to be played. Eagles win 93-73 on the night. 17 points it was on aggregate. And from Dave and myself, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. I guess if you're in Bakken, you probably didn't. But thank you very much for giving us a really good game over 2 legs.
ENBLeague.